You're looking at a live shot of a wildfire that broke out on Peachland's Drought Hill just around 2 o'clock this afternoon. BC Wildfire are currently using helicopters and water bombers to fight the blaze. Now this blaze appears to have been started by a truck whose tires caught fire on Highway 97 just south of the Okanagan Connector just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. Now that fire quickly spread up the hill, and what you're looking at right now is the result of that blaze. The initial reports to BC Wildfire Service had this fire listed at 0.05 hectares. As of this point in the afternoon, just before 4 o'clock, they are now saying it has grown to 5 hectares in size. They are hitting it with water bombers and choppers. There are reportedly homes in the area as it works its way towards the Trepanier side. Now the Okanagan Connector is closed, the Trepanier Road is closed as well. I am located on the east side of the Okanagan Lake, by Okanagan Mountain Provincial Park. I'm just on the edge of the Okanagan Lake here, providing you with this live shot. As you can see, the BC Wildfire Services are hitting the wildfire from the air. The highway at this point is closed. There is no traffic on Highway 97. We can't get to that side of the lake. This is the closest that we can get to. As I stand on this side of the lake, you can see paddle boarders going by. Boats are still on the water. They appear to be staying out of the area in front of the Peachland range. We should take this opportunity to remind any boaters or anyone paying attention to Castanet right now to give these water bombers and helicopters the room they need on the water to gather the water that they need to drop it on the fire. Again, this fire broke out just before or just slightly after 2 o'clock this afternoon on Highway 97 on Drought Hill. It appears that a vehicle's tires caught fire. It was towing a bobcat. That fire quickly spread up the hill. It started at 0.05 hectares and at this point in the afternoon has now grown to 5 hectares in size. And BC Wildfire Service is working on this fire right now. They have water bombers and helicopters. I'll expand out so you can get a better idea of the size and scale. That location is just south of the Okanagan Connector. Again, the Okanagan Connector has been closed down. Highway 97 has been closed down. The BC Wildfire Service are working this from the air. They have water bombers and choppers working it. They do need the area in front of Peachland, the water area, cleared so that they can do their work. This wildfire grew quickly this afternoon, going from 0.05 hectares to 5 hectares is the latest report that we have from BC Wildfire Services. I'm Rob Gibson. I'm located on the east side of Okanagan Lake by Okanagan Mountain Park. I'm on the shores of the Okanagan Lake right now, providing you with this live shot. You can see that there's a barge now in the shot making their way down the lake. BC Wildfire Service is fighting this fire from the sky. You can see the helicopters making their way through the smoke, and the water bombers are working to preserve. There are homes in the area. We don't have word at this time on just how close they are to any of the homes. But you can see some black smoke off to the right of your screen. The rest is white smoke. Black smoke obviously implies that it may be a structure or some kind of a man-made structure. There are hydro lines in that area as well. Again, this fire was started just around 2 o'clock this afternoon off of Highway 97 near Drought Hill. A vehicle was towing a bobcat, and it appears the tires caught on fire, whether it was the brakes or some other mechanical situation. That fire quickly spread up the hill. Started at 0.05 hectares and then has now grown to 5 hectares. I'll zoom in so you can get a better look at this. You can see the black smoke to the right of the screen. The rest of the smoke appears to be white. The fire is working its way up towards Trepanier Road. How you doing, sir?
Hi there.
I'm live with Castanet right now. Did you see that fire start? I'm live with Castanet right now. Did you see that fire start?
Yeah, I don't want to be in here.
Okay, well, I'm live right now.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So your head's in the shot.
Sorry about that.
That's okay, as long as you don't mind being famous. Central Okanagan Emergency Operations says it has activated the Emergency Operations Center in response to this wildfire. No formal evacuation alerts or orders have been issued at this time, but some residents near the fire have been told to prepare to leave by crews who are working in the area. Several firefighters, aircraft with the BC Wildfire Service remain active over the blaze while crews on the ground are working to build control lines. RCMP are asking any boaters to stay off the water in front of the area right in front of Peachland. Now that fella has moved off, he was just going along. I guess he lives here and he's cleaning along. He brought his water. His dog here for a swim. How you doing, buddy? You look cooler than I am, that's for sure. We'll just zoom in to give you a better look. Helicopters and air tankers are refilling their aircraft with water from Okanagan Lake, and they need a clear path. Obviously, the RCMP are reminding everyone to stay off the water. Give them, the BC Wildfire Services, the room they need to operate right now. Highway 97 was closed down earlier this afternoon as a result of the fire. The Okanagan Connector has been closed. Trepanier Road is now blocked off. Again, this fire started at 0.05 hectares and very quickly grew to about 5 hectares in size. It is an extremely hot day, and the original photos that we had of the truck tires on fire seemed to indicate that he had brake issues or another mechanical issue that led to the fire. I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the shores of Okanagan Lake with this fellow who's a lot cooler than me. He had a little swim there. I could use a dip myself, but as you can see behind me, the fire has grown from 0.05 hectares to 5 hectares. You can see the BC Wildfire Service are hitting this with water bombers and air tankers. They need that area in front of the lake, right in front of Peachland, to be clear. They have closed down the highway. They've closed down the Okanagan Connector at this point and Trepanier Road. So far, they haven't issued any evacuation orders, but crews on the ground are going and letting people know that they should be prepared to evacuate. They're working hard to contain this fire. This is the closest that we can get. We've come to the edge of Okanagan Lake. I'm on the shores of Okanagan Mountain Park right now, reporting live. As you can see, this fire has grown from a very small tabletop size fire to now 5 hectares in size. We have seen some black smoke coming from the fire, which could imply there are some structures or some other type of damage that is going on, but of course we won't know that until much later. I'm going to get out of the shot there, buddy. You watch yourself. And I'll zoom in again so you can get a little bit of a closer view to see what's going on as they fight this fire. Again, Central Okanagan Emergency Operations have activated its Emergency Operations Center in response to this wildfire. There have been no formal evacuation alerts or orders issued at this point, but some residents near the fire have been told by crews working the area trying to establish a perimeter that they should be prepared to leave. That seems to make good sense from my viewpoint here. It certainly looks like this fire, it's smoking because they're putting water on it. They are working to get it under control, but just the smoke itself would be extremely difficult to deal with if you happen to be in its path. It is now blowing from the north to the south at this point, so it is carrying, most of that smoke is going over the city of Peachland and on down to Summerlin. Penticton, you are next. Again, the RCMP have asked boaters in the area to clear a path in front. They need access to Okanagan Lake. They need access to that water. They need to continue hitting this fire with everything they've got. You can see on the right-hand side some of that darker smoke. We don't know what that is. There could be different types of brush in there. It doesn't necessarily mean that that is a structure, but it is certainly much darker. And on the left of the screen, you can see some darker smoke in that area as well. There are houses at the top of this. So far, we believe that there are no structures threatened at this point, but we do know that Central Okanagan Emergency Operations have activated their Emergency Operations Center as a result of this wildfire. Again, it is so hot and conditions are so dry that just a simple car fire spread very quickly up the bank of Drought Hill and went from a tabletop size fire at 0.05 hectares to now BC Wildfire is listing this fire, the latest we have, is 5 hectares in size. Firefighting aircraft with BC Wildfire Service are active over the blaze. Crews are on the ground trying to establish a perimeter. If needs be, they will go door to door and ask people to leave. RCMP once again asking boaters to stay off the water in front of that area. They need room to work. Helicopters and air tankers are refilling their aircraft with water from the Okanagan Lake, and they need a clear path in order to do their work. Again, Highway 97 and Highway 97C, the Okanagan Connector, have been closed as a result of this fire. So everything on the west side of the city coming into West Kelowna is shut down for the time being. Peachland Fire and Rescue were among the first to respond to this fire as it was working its way up the hill, but it moved so quickly it would be next to impossible to attack it with anything but an air tanker or a helicopter. You can see the terrain is very steep in that area. The winds are not particularly strong at this point, but there is obviously enough to keep this fire going. And it is so tinder dry that it doesn't take very much for the fire to spread. Again, I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the shores of the Okanagan Lake. I am by the water near Okanagan Mountain Park. You are looking at a live shot of the Peachland wildfire that broke out near Drought Hill just around 2 o'clock this afternoon. This fire started as a 0.05 hectare wildfire and very quickly has now grown to 5 hectares in size. BC Wildfire Services are attacking the blaze from the air. They're using helicopters and water tankers at this time, and they're asking the people who are using the lake to give them the room they need to do their jobs. They need the area in front of Peachland to be as clear as possible while they fight this blaze. You can see a skimmer there at the top of the screen. An eyewitness told Castanet the fire looks like it was started by a vehicle that was towing a bobcat on a trailer. One of the photos you can see in this story clearly shows the tires, the front tires of that vehicle on fire. And it was spreading up the highway and into the brush. The incident happened around 2 o'clock at the time that that photo was taken. The Peachland Fire Department were one of the first responders on the scene. How you doing? Oh, it's okay. It's all right. You got to live your life. I'm so tight I can't see you anyway. I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the shores of Okanagan Lake. I am on the east side of the lake. We've got people who are trying to go about their lives here while this wildfire begins to spread. The last report we had was 5 hectares in size. It grew from 0.05 hectares up to 5 hectares. It started on Highway 97 near Drought Hill, went up the hill, and you can see the size of it now. BC Wildfire Services are hitting it with helicopters and air tankers. You can see the smoke. Much of that would be steam from the water they are dropping. I have not seen any retardant, but I am too far away really to give you an indication whether or not they're dropping retardant. We have been told that there are homes in the area that are threatened by this. So far we have not been informed of any evacuation alerts, but ground crews who are trying to set up a perimeter and help the air crews have told people in the area they should be prepared to leave. And just looking at the smoke, if you happen to be in Peachland or Summerland, it is going to be a smoky night no matter what happens with this fire at this point. I'll just zoom out so you can get a better sense of the perspective from where I am. I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the shores of Okanagan Lake. I am right here at Okanagan Mountain Park at the bottom. I found a little beachy area. It is extremely hot. I don't mind telling you that. Behind me you can see the smoke that is billowing from this wildfire that started around 2 o'clock this afternoon, apparently from a vehicle fire. The photo that we have in our story right now, if you want to look for that, shows those tires completely engulfed in flames. There was towing a bobcat. The bobcat is off that trailer. Presumably they were trying to protect their assets, but that fire ripped up the hill and very quickly got into the brush and then took off. The Peachland emergency response crews were there very quickly, but without helicopter support, this fire went from 0.05 hectares to now the last we have is 5 full hectares. So far we haven't heard anything about evacuation alerts, but as I mentioned a few moments ago, crews in the area who are trying to set up a perimeter around this wildfire are telling people in the area they should be prepared to leave. And as you can see from the smoke, that smoke is heading south. Anyone in Peachland or Summerland and possibly Penticton later on today will be able to smell that. And people in Peachland in particular, this will not be a pleasant evening for them one way or the other. They are hitting this fire hard from the air with choppers and air support. Much of the smoke that you are seeing is steam. They're working to get it under control. There are ground crews working as well to get it under control. Highway 97 and the Okanagan Connector are both closed at this time. And anyone who is living in Peachland should be aware that this situation is going on and be prepared to leave at a moment's notice at this point, although the BC Wildfire Service has not alerted us to any evacuation orders. We do know that the Emergency Operations Center has been activated. That will give the RDCO and the region some extra powers, the ability to get on property, to get access water that may not, but may be private access. So they're doing everything they can at this point to put this fire out. I'll just zoom in again so you can get a better sense. You can see the air support is still active in the area. Smoke appears to be dying down. I can hear the planes. It's difficult to see them through all of the smoke, but we can hear them. Again, if you're just tuning in, this wildfire broke out just around 2 o'clock this afternoon on Highway 97 near Drought Hill. One of the pictures in the story that we have on Castanet shows a vehicle with its tires, its front tires are completely engulfed in flames. And when it pulled over to try to obviously sort himself out, that fire jumped to the brush and made its way up the hill. And you can see the result. It only took a few minutes for that fire to take off. Things are so dry, conditions are so tinder dry. I can tell you right now, I'm sweating buckets. It's extremely hot. We have a heat warning in effect for the area. It has been in effect for a few days now. Tomorrow, again, supposed to be hot. It doesn't take much for these fires to take off, and it wasn't for the quick response of the BC Wildfire Service and the Peachland fire crews, the situation could be much worse. You can see the houses on the left-hand side. If I pull out, that's Peachland. So this fire was precariously close to Peachland. At this point, we have not been informed of any evacuation alerts, but ground crews working in the area, trying to set up a perimeter around this fire, have told people in the area they should be prepared to leave. Obviously, the smoke will be a problem one way or the other. Anybody who has any breathing issues or respiratory issues is going to want to get out of the area and head south as far possibly as Penticton at this point. In case you're just joining us, you are looking at a live shot of a wildfire that broke out off of Highway 97 just around 2 o'clock this afternoon. It started as a 0.05 hectare fire and quickly grew to 5 hectares. What you're looking at right now is the full size of the fire. Peachland is on the left of your screen. You can see a boat passing through the bottom of the frame. At this point, much of that smoke that you're seeing is steam from the water they're dropping on it, and you can see the bottom part is less active than the top. They are working their way down, trying to snuff this blaze before it can threaten any more structures. We have been told that ground crews are working to establish a perimeter around the fire, and they have informed some people that they should be prepared to evacuate at a moment's notice if this situation doesn't get under control. We have now received word that BC Wildfire Service has reached out to Abbotsford, and they are bringing in skimmers to help battle this blaze. I can see some of the water bombers are circling the area. Some of the brownish smoke could very well be retardant as they try to prevent this fire from getting any closer to any structures or homes in the Peachland area. Again, the latest we have is that evacuation orders have not been issued, but crews who are working on the ground try to establish a perimeter around the blaze, have told people in the area that they should be prepared to leave at a moment's notice. Again, we are bringing in BC Wildfire Services, bringing in skimmers from Abbotsford. There are water bombers and helicopters working the fire right now. It's going to take these skimmers a little bit to get here, but once they do, they're going to need the area in front of Peachland, the water in front of Peachland, to be clear so that they can continue to do their work. Anybody who has seen the skimmers in operation know that it is a thing of beauty when they operate as a unit, and they do not need any boaters getting in their way and slowing them down as they do their best to prevent this fire from spreading and damaging any structures. Central Okanagan Emergency Operations have established a muster center at Royal LePage Place in West Kelowna for those who are stuck on the north side of Highway 97 because of the closure there. Any Peachland residents or Penticton residents, Summerland, anyone who is caught because of this closure can go to the Royal LePage Place in West Kelowna. That's because of this wildfire that broke out around 2 o'clock this afternoon. And it has closed down Highway 97. It has closed down the connector and it has closed down Trepanier Road as well. Residents are able to travel through Peachland, can gather for interim at the Peachland Community Center until more information is available. So if you're living in Peachland and you haven't been put on alert or told to leave, you can go to the Peachland Community Center and you can talk to some of your neighbors, and you can get the latest information there as well. Obviously, the best place to get your information is right here on Castanet. I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the shores of Okanagan Lake. I am just on the shore of Okanagan Mountain Park, and you are looking at a live shot of a wildfire that broke out off of Highway 97 around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Now, this blaze started out as a tabletop-sized fire, about 0.05 hectares, but very quickly spread up the hill and has now grown to 5 hectares in size. Once again, I'm just going to remind you that the Central Okanagan Emergency Operation have issued a notice to let people know that a muster center has been opened at Royal LePage Place in West Kelowna for anyone who is stuck on the north side of this Highway 97 closure because of the fire. And people who are living in Peachland or in Summerland who can get through, they can go to the Peachland Community Center and gather more information, or if you just want to talk to your neighbors, you can gather there. The Okanagan Connector is closed between Highway 97 Junction and Aspen Grove, meaning there are no paved detours around the blaze at this point. Central Okanagan Emergency Operations has activated its Emergency Operations Center because of this wildfire. There have not been any formal evacuation alerts or orders issued at this point, but residents near the fire have been told to prepare to leave by ground crews who are working to set up a perimeter around this blaze. Multiple firefighting aircraft with BC Wildfire Service are active over the blaze. You can see them. It's difficult because of the smoke, but they are working this blaze. And you can start to see some of the patches in the smoke. They appear to be getting the upper hand. I hate to say that that's the case because I am too far away to make a proper judgment, but it looks like the smoke has decreased since I first arrived. Again, RCMP are asking boaters to stay off the water in the area. Helicopters, air tankers, they'll be refilling in Okanagan Lake, and they need a clear path in order to do that. They have ordered skimmers from Abbotsford. When they arrive here, anyone who has seen them know that they work in unison, and they do a very tight operation, and they need everyone to give them a clear path. I'll just zoom out here so you can get a bit of a perspective and see where I am at. I am on the shore of Okanagan Mountain Park on the east side of Okanagan Lake. You can hear the skimmers, you can hear the tankers. There are still boaters going about their business, tubing, living their lives, but we're asking these folks to give BC Wildfire Service the room they need in order to do their work. They have brought in more skimmers that are on their way from Abbotsford. That was about 15 minutes ago. Hopefully we'll see them in the skies above Peachland sometime in the next half hour. Central Okanagan Emergency Operations says a muster center has been opened at Royal LePage Place in West Kelowna for those who are stuck in the north side of the Highway 97 closure. Anyone in Peachland or Summerland can go to the Peachland Community Center, and they can get more information there. Of course, the best place to get your information is right here on Castanet. I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the shores of Okanagan Lake. I am on the shore of Okanagan Mountain Park right now. You can see by my forehead just how hot it is out here. And earlier in the day, if you scroll through the story, you'll see a photo of a truck that was towing a bobcat. Now, the front tires of that truck are completely engulfed in flames. You don't know if that was a mechanical failure or the rubber just caught on fire, but it only took a few minutes for that fire to quickly spread up the hill, and now you're seeing the result of what was a 0.05 hectare fire, very small, but it ripped up the hill even before the Peachland firefighters could get there. They were on it as quickly as they could. The RCMP were there minding traffic, so everyone reacted as quick as they could to this fire, but even with that, it is so hot right now and dry that it doesn't take much for a fire like this. 0.05 hectares to turn into 5 hectares, and it is threatening homes and structures. Hopefully they will get it under control before anything else is lost. Of course, we will let you know as soon as we know more. At this point, I can see the water bombers circling. Looks like the skimmers have arrived, folks. There they are, 1, 2, 3. They'll make short work of this, I believe. I'll zoom in so you can get a better look at these skimmers as they do their work. A reminder to anyone who is on the lake or knows someone on the lake, please call them and let them know that we need to keep that area clear so that these skimmers can do their work. You can see the air tanker is circling. The skimmers have begun their work. There are still helicopters in the area. There are ground crews trying to establish a perimeter. Yeah, the latest photos that we have on Castanet very clearly show that there are homes that are within a football field. It looks like a football field of flames. They're going to have to throw some retardant down. The skimmers are going to have to do their work in order to keep everybody there safe. Again, I'll remind you that the Central Okanagan Emergency Operations have established a muster center at Royal LePage Place in West Kelowna for anybody who is stuck on the north side of the Highway 97 closure. Anyone who is in Peachland right now and doesn't want to stay in their home can go to the Peachland Community Center, and obviously stay tuned to Castanet. We'll bring you the latest information as soon as we have it. I can confirm that the skimmers are here. A team of skimmer aircraft from Abbotsford have arrived at the fire. Tankers based in Penticton are also fighting this blaze. Again, this fire started around 2 o'clock, very close to Drought Hill in Peachland, and a vehicle fire. The tires of that vehicle caught fire, and within not even minutes, really seconds, the fire jumped into the brush and started ripping up the hill, and started off as 0.05, very containable, not a big deal. Winds aren't super heavy, but it spread extremely quickly. The Peachland fire team was there. First responders were very quick. But as you can see from our video images, it's very steep. It's very difficult terrain for people to walk in. You really do need air support for these types of situations. And it looks like we have now got it. We have got the skimmers, we have got water bombers, and we have got helicopters all working this fire. Now you can see the smoke is starting to rise up again. Again, that would be steam from the water they're dropping on it. I can't see the skimmers from here. I'm just too far away. But they will need the area in front of Peachland clear in order to do their work, in order to snuff those flames completely out. Again, anyone who is stuck on the north side of this fire can go to Royal LePage Place in West Kelowna and the Peachland Community Center if you want to gather with some of your friends and neighbors. You know, Castanet is the best place to get your latest information, but there's nothing like looking in someone's eyes and talking to them and hearing their stories and reassuring one another. This is what we're good at in the Okanagan, and that's the place to do it if you're in Peachland right now. We still don't have any reports of any evacuation alerts or orders, but some of those pictures make me very nervous. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm Rob Gibson reporting live on the shores of Okanagan Lake. I am on the east side of the lake at the base of the Okanagan Mountain Park. The shot you're looking at is a wildfire that broke out just off of Highway 97 near Drought Hill in Peachland around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Now, Highway 97 has been completely shut down because of this. The Okanagan Connector is shut down as well at this point. The Trepanier Road is shut down. We don't have reports of any evacuation orders or alerts at this point, but as I mentioned earlier, if you look at some of those photos on this story, the flames are dangerously close to some of the structures. And BC Wildfire Service is doing everything in their power to try to get this blaze under control. You can see how the smoke is just billowing over the main parts of Peachland, and it's working its way down the lake towards Summerland and then on into Penticton right now. I have just been told that this fire has now been updated. It has gone from 0.05 hectares when it started at around 2 o'clock this afternoon, and then it grew to 5, and now just about 4:25 we're being told that the fire is now listed at 12 hectares in size. So this fire has gone from 0.05 to 5 to 12. It's doubling, it's tripling. We have brought in skimmers from Abbotsford. We have got water bombers in here from Penticton. We've got air support all over this. You can see in this shot here, this is Shoreline Pile Driving is doing some work in the area. But this is definitely a cool shot. Working on someone's dock, I guess. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the shores of Okanagan Lake. I'm on the east side of the lake, just below Okanagan Mountain Park. You're looking at a live shot of a wildfire that broke out just around 2 o'clock, just off of Highway 97 near Drought Hill. The latest information that we have on this fire is that the fire is now 12 hectares in size. It started off at 0.05, grew to 5, and is now at 12. That is a testament to just how hot and how quickly these spreads. It is windy, but it is not extremely windy at this point. I can see the water bombers circling. They've got a spotter up higher that I can see. At this point, I can't see the skimmers doing their job, but I have seen them. They are on it. Much of what you're seeing right now, that smoke you're seeing right now, is steam from the water that they have dropped on that area. And that smoke is wafting its way, working its way towards Peachland, on down to Summerland, and then into Penticton. So we know that a team of skimmer aircraft from Abbotsford are working on this fire. Tankers based in Penticton are working over this blaze. We've got choppers in the area. Some of these photos sent to Castanet show the blaze burning near homes at the end of Trepanier Bench Road and McNeil Court. The fire appears to be slowly moving west along the side of Highway 97C. Of course, it was started on the highway and then worked its way up and then into the bush above there, and it is continuing to kind of work its way west. They're trying to prevent this fire from getting any closer to any structures in Peachland than it already is. Central Okanagan Emergency Operations have established a muster center at Royal LePage Place in West Kelowna for those who are stuck on the north side of the Highway 97 closure. People can travel through, anyone who's in Peachland or who can travel through Peachland can gather at the Peachland Community Center if they want to just give each other some support. Obviously, Castanet is the source for the latest information. We are here live, and we will continue to cover this story for as long as it remains an issue. I'm being told that right now the temperature is 36.4 degrees. I can tell you it sure feels like that. I'm on the shore of the lake, and I do have a bit of a breeze here, and I'm trying to find some shade, but it is extremely hot. My forehead is just dripping with sweat. I'll zoom out a little and let you guys have a look from my perspective. Winds are blowing east-southeast at this point at about 13 kilometers an hour, which is nice for people like me, there is a bit of a breeze, but you can see by looking at my forehead just how sweaty I am. It is extremely hot. There are some black clouds coming in. Again, the wind is coming in from the east-southeast. Not sure if we're expected to get some showers. That would obviously help the situation. You can see the tankers are working this fire. This blaze started extremely small at around 2 o'clock this afternoon off of Highway 97 near Drought Hill, near Peachland, and it jumped from a situation where the car had pulled over because its tires were on fire. He didn't even have time, barely had time to get his Bobcat off, and it had jumped to the ditch and on up the hill. Peachland Fire Department was there very quickly. The first responders were there quickly. RCMP were on scene directing traffic, but it went from 0.05 hectares to 5, and now we're up to 12. We've got the wind is actually pushing this fire towards Peachland, so that makes this situation a little more dire. We've got east-southeast winds at around 13 kilometers per hour. Right now the temperature is 36.4 degrees. A little breeze is very nice for me, but it is extremely hot, and you can see from some of the temperatures, some of the photos in the story that we have, just how quickly this blaze spread and how close it has come to some of the homes in those areas. Now again, we've got plenty of aircraft action right now. You can see some of those aircraft. I'll zoom in again so you can get a better view of what's going on. There is plenty of smoke, but again, they're hitting it with fire, so much of what you're seeing is steam. Trying to leave a little bit of the water so you can see the skimmers if they ever get into any action. Out of Penticton right now, there is constant aircraft coming in and out of Penticton right now. They're picking up water from Skaha and Okanagan lakes, and they're also picking up here at Okanagan Lake. The RCMP have asked any of the boaters who are on the water to make way for any aircraft. You need to leave the area in front of Peachland as clear as you possibly can. Again, the wind is 13 kilometers now out of the east-southeast, so that's pushing that fire towards Peachland, obviously dangerous. We do have some hourly wind gusts, which are calling for 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. That is supposed to be moving at around 5 o'clock, which jives with what I'm seeing. There are some dark clouds behind me. It is moving that way. I don't know if there's any rain in those clouds, but obviously we could use some heavy rain right about now. We've got some gusting winds, 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. That's supposed to hit around 5 o'clock. We're at around 4:30 right now, so obviously that is not going to help. Yeah, this fire has grown to 12 hectares in size. The blaze was sparked by a vehicle fire on Highway 97. It is being attacked by the Peachland Fire Department, in addition to 18 BC Wildfire Services, wildland firefighters, and 3 wildfire officers. Numerous aircraft, including skimmers, air tankers, and helicopters, remain over this fire, fighting the blaze, trying to prevent it from reaching Peachland. The wind is pushing it towards Peachland. You can see the smoke is going that way. Again, anyone who's caught out trying to get back to Peachland north of that closure on Highway 97 can go to the Royal LePage Place in West Kelowna. And if you happen to be on the south side of that closure or in Peachland and you're just not comfortable staying in your home, you can go to the Peachland Community Center and you'll get the latest information there. Obviously, you can keep it tuned right here to Castanet. We'll be covering this as long as this fire is going on. Central Okanagan Emergency Operations have activated the Emergency Operations Center in response to the wildfire. There have been no formal evacuation alerts or orders yet, but some of the photos you can see in the story that we have posted are dangerous, precariously close to homes. Several firefighting aircraft from the BC Wildfire Service are here. We've got skimmers in from Abbotsford. They're doing their work. And you can see how the smoke is billowing up. Again, much of that would be steam. There isn't a lot of black smoke, which could mean it was structures or some other type of a structure. So that is good news. We'll cling on to all the good news that we can get at this point. Again, you're looking at a live shot of the wildfire that broke out on Highway 97 near Drought Hill, near Peachland. Right now, I can tell you there is some concern about the weather. We've got temperatures right now of 36.4 degrees. We've had a heat warning in effect for the last couple of days. The wind is blowing at 13 kilometers per hour east, southeast, and that means it's pushing the fire towards Peachland. Hourly wind gusts call for 20 with gusts of up to 40 kilometers per hour. That's around 5 o'clock. Some of those could reach 40 kilometers per hour at 5. So we're looking at 435 right now. There is a black cloud that's coming in that way. I don't know if that contains any rain. Obviously, that would be a help. But it would also force these aircraft onto the ground as well. We've got air support coming in from Penticton, Abbotsford, all around the region. They're not taking any chances with this. Clearly, it's a major concern. I don't know if you can see that air tanker in the shot right now. If you're just joining us, you are looking at a live shot of a wildfire that broke out at approximately 2 o'clock this afternoon off of Highway 97 near Drought Hill in Peachland. Now, Highway 97 is closed. The Okanagan Connector is closed up until Aspen Grove. A Trepanier Road is closed. The Emergency Operations Center has been activated. They have set up a spot for anybody who is caught out by this fire in West Kelowna at the Royal LePage Place. If you're in Peachland or south, you can head to the Peachland Community Center to get the latest information or to connect with residents in your community. We can tell you that they are attacking this fire from the air as heavily as they can. They have brought in skimmers from Abbotsford. We've got all kinds of air support coming up from Penticton. Water bombers are in the air and helicopters. There's a spotter plane that's flying higher up, obviously trying to figure out which way this fire is going. We've got winds coming out of the southeast, right around 13 kilometers, but gusting up to 40 as we get closer to 5 o'clock. The wind seems to be picking up in the afternoon air. I can see the water bombers are attacking. The skimmers seem to be flying a little bit lower, and and hitting the water. The RCMP need that water space in front of Peachland clear so that they can the skimmers can continue to pick up water. Some of the water bombers are picking up water from Skaha. They're picking it up from Point South, and they're coming back this way. Some of the brownish smoke that you see could indeed be retardant. I can't tell from this vantage point whether they are in fact dropping retardant, but I believe one of the photos in the story does show some retardant being dropped, which tells me that they are trying very hard to set up a perimeter around this blaze. They do have 18 wildfire personnel, ground personnel on the ground. They have been telling people to be prepared. There are no evacuation orders at this point, but they are telling people to be prepared. And just looking at this fire, you can certainly see why. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can get a bit of a perspective. You can see how close it is to the city of Peachland, precariously close. But it is the Okanagan. I'm not sure if you can hear the music coming from this boat. Life goes on. They're out there water skiing, wakeboarding. Some people are swimming. The other boats seem to have left the area. Certainly not a day off for the BC Wildfire Service. They are fighting this fire with everything they've got. They've brought in skimmers from Abbotsford. We're bringing in water bombers from Penticton. They're hitting this fire with everything they've got in the region right now. We're crossing our fingers that the winds don't continue to pick up because they are blowing towards Peachland right now. They have set up the Emergency Operations Center. There is a place for anyone who's displaced from their home or can't get home or to Point South because of the highway closure. You can set up at Royal LePage Place in West Kelowna. Anyone who's on the other side of the closure, on the other side of Peachland, or if you're not comfortable being in your house or you just want to see somebody, head to the Peachland Community Center. The latest from BC Wildfire Service tells Castanet they are currently responding to the Drought Hill wildfire, which is called K51121, located approximately 2 kilometers north of Peachland between Highway 97C and Highway 97. The fire is currently estimated at 12 hectares in size, and it is classified as out of control. They are responding with initial attack crews, response officers, structure protection personnel, and aerial support, which includes helicopters, tankers, and skimmers. Aircraft will be using Okanagan Lake as a water source throughout the afternoon, and they are asking the public and recreators, like that boat I just pointed out just a moment ago, to give these critical resources room to work. People using watercraft should move quickly out of the way of skimmers to allow them the space they need to move safely. The fire is currently burning rank 3 to rank 4, meaning a moderately vigorous surface fire with a moderate to fast rate of spread. Again, Highway 97 and Highway 97C are closed. You can visit Drive BC for all of the updates, or of course you can just keep it right here on Castanet, and we'll bring you the latest news as it unfolds. I'll zoom out again so you can get a bit of a perspective. Here goes another boat out enjoying the beautiful Okanagan. Looks like they're doing some wakeboarding. If you're just joining us, I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the shores of Okanagan Lake. I'm on the east side of the lake, right here on just below Okanagan Mountain Park, which is behind me. Now this fire broke out just around 2 o'clock this afternoon off of Highway 97. It looks like a tire, some tires caught on fire where there's a mechanical issue, or the tires just got fired because it is so hot. The latest we have is at 36.4 degrees Celsius still right now, and I can tell you it's very hot. The wind appears to be picking up a little bit more. We are expecting some gusts. It's moving from the south to southeast, and the gusting from 13 to 40 kilometers per hour. That is going to move that fire closer to Peachland. It's certainly going to move that smoke closer to Peachland, Summerland, on down into Penticton. We can tell you that the emergency operations have set up a place in West Kelowna at Royal LePage Center. Anyone on this side in Peachland, you can go to the Peachland Community Center. Of course, keep it right here on Castanet. We'll provide you with the latest information. The latest we have is that they have established the Emergency Operations Center, but they haven't issued any evacuation orders at this point. If you look at the story that we have on Castanet right now and scroll through, you'll see some of the videos, some of the photos. You can see that photo of the truck wheels on fire. You can see a photo of the fire. It's ranked 3 to 4 right now, which is aggressive fire behavior as it moves closer to structures. It's on top of the structures. Hopefully it won't come down the hill, but this is a fire. We don't know what it's going to do as a wildfire. The winds are starting to pick up. There are some dark clouds above me. I don't know if there's any rain in them. We could sure use it right now. You can see how much sweat is on my forehead. It is extremely hot out here, 36.4 degrees Celsius. You can see how heavy that smoke is right now. Much of that, again, is steam. They are hitting this hard. There's the full shot of my location here at Okanagan Mountain Park on the shores of Okanagan Lake. You're looking at a live shot of the wildfire that broke out off of Highway 97 around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Likely started by a vehicle fire, whether it was mechanical or otherwise. There is a photo on Castanet that shows those tires on fire. Boaters have been advised to keep the area in front of Peachland clear. There are boaters and recreators out here. You can see a personal watercraft going in front of the screen right now. People are enjoying the beautiful sunshine. Some people, at least, perhaps not BC Wildfire Service and some of the residents of Peachland right now who are sweating bullets hoping that they can get a handle on this fire. It has grown from 0.05 hectares to 5 hectares. The latest we have now is 12 hectares, and this fire is listed at out of control. There is a ton of air support on this fire right now. We've got skimmers coming in from Abbotsford, we've got water bombers in from Penticton, and there is helicopter support, including a spotter. I can see some of the skimmers are working the fire right now. They seem to be attacking it from the other side. There isn't a lot of activity on my side of the fire, but of course I can't see what's going on through the smoke on the other side. But this shot does show you quite clearly how close it is to Peachland. I'll zoom in again so you can get a better sense of what's going on with this blaze right now as we approach the dinner hour. Anyone who's tuning in and realizing that they won't be able to get home today can go to the Royal LePage Center in West Kelowna, or if you're on the other side, you can go to the Peachland Community Center, and there will be support services for those there, of course. Keep it on Castanet for the latest information. I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the shores. Live shots of BC Wildfire Service and Peachland Fire Department, and really all hands on deck here trying to snuff out this blaze. Blaze started at 0.05 hectares. For perspective, that's probably half the size of a picnic table, and is now grown to 12 hectares. We are a little bit concerned about the wind. We are expecting wind gusts between 13 and 40 kilometers per hour as we get closer to 5 o'clock. We've been covering this story live for you since it broke out. I'm Rob Gibson, live on the shores of Okanagan Lake. We'll continue to bring you updates as we get that information. I can see more boat activity on this side of the lake. I should remind boaters, or if anybody out there knows somebody who's on the lake right now, maybe give them a phone call and just give them the heads up that they should stay away from the Peachland side. Give the aircraft, the skimmers, the room they need to do the job that they have to do, the very important job they have to do, because if a storm does whip up, they're going to have to ground those planes, and then this becomes a ground fight, and we don't want to see that. We need the air support to put this fire out. Central Okanagan Emergency Operations have established a muster center at Royal LePage Place in West Kelowna for anybody who's stuck on the north side of the Highway 97 closure. If you're on the south side trying to get north and you need a place to stop and get yourself together, you can go to the Peachland Community Center. Obviously, keep it tuned right here to Castanet. We'll bring you the latest information as soon as we have it. Central Okanagan Emergency Operations have evacuated Emergency Operations Center in response to this wildfire. So far, we haven't heard that there are any formal evacuation alerts, but there are informal alerts to get a bag ready. Anybody who was here several years ago knows how important that is, just to be able to, at a moment's notice, grab everything that you care about, everything that you need, and get out of Dodge. Several firefighting aircraft of the BC Wildfire Service are active over the blaze. You can see them working it. They appear to be working it harder from the other side of Peachland. I can't see a great deal of activity on the water myself. What I do see are recreational boaters and, of course, a little family of ducks there. We've got helicopters, air tankers. They're refilling their aircraft with water from Okanagan Lake. They're also using Skaha Lake as well. Police are asking boaters to be aware and not obstruct the aircraft from accessing the lake in their firefighting efforts. The latest information we have from the BC Wildfire Service indicates they're responding to the Drought Hill wildfire. They're calling it K51121 at this point. It's located approximately 2 kilometers north of Peachland between Highway 97C and Highway 97. The fire is currently estimated at 12 hectares in size and is classified as out of control. They're responding with initial attack crews, response officers, structure protection personnel, and aerial support, including helicopters, tankers, and skimmers. Aircraft will be using Okanagan Lake as a water source throughout the afternoon and evening. They're asking the public and any recreators out there to give these aircraft the room they need to work. People using watercraft should move quickly out of the way of skimmers to allow them the space they need to move safely. The fire is currently burning rank 3 to rank 4, which means moderately to vigorous surface fire with a moderate to fast rate of spread. Highway 97 and Highway 97C are both closed. You can get the latest information right here on Castanet, or of course you can visit Drive BC for your road updates. Again, if you're just tuning in, I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the shores of Okanagan Lake. You're looking at a wildfire that broke out around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Just off of Highway 97. It is extremely hot. We have had a heat warning for the last several days. The latest information I have is 36.4 degrees. You can tell by the sweat on my face just how hot it is here, and there is a bit of a breeze here by the lake. It's gusting from between about 14 kilometers an hour up to 40, possibly by 5 o'clock. So we're still about 7 minutes away from 5. We've been going live trying to cover this story for you, bring you the latest information. We do know that the Emergency Operations Center has been activated. There is a spot in West Kelowna at the Royal LePage Place for anybody who can't get home on Highway 97. You're displaced, you can go there. If you're south of the fire and you can't get north, you can go to the Peachland Community Center. Obviously, we're doing our best to bring you the latest information. You can see we're mostly looking at white smoke, which could mostly be steam. There isn't a lot of black smoke. Earlier there was some. That was likely retardant. We haven't heard any structures being damaged as a result of this blaze, and so far we have not heard that there have been any formal evacuation alerts, although the ground crew, there's about 18 of them who are working to establish a perimeter, and there are obviously the wildfire service crews are there, and they're informally telling people that they should be prepared to leave just because of the smoke. You can see how smoky it must be in Peachland right now as that smoke moves its way towards Peachland and then on down to Summerlin. The latest update that we have now is that 400 properties have now been tactically evacuated due to the Drought Hill wildfire. This is what we're calling this fire now, according to Central Okanagan Emergency Operations. Emergency officials say properties east of the Trepanier Bench Road, south of Highway 97C, and north of Highway 97 are now on evacuation order. That is not an alert, that is an order. Again, I'll read that again. About 400 properties have been tactically evacuated due to the Drought Hill wildfire, according to Central Okanagan Emergency Operations. Emergency officials say properties east of Trepanier Bench Road, south of Highway 97C, and north of Highway 97 are now on evacuation order. Residents are asked to prepare to be away from their properties for an extended period of time, make arrangements for pets, and pack essential items such as medicines and important documents. A news release says residents can check the Central Okanagan emergency map for detailed information about evacuation zones, but the map does not appear to be updated at this point. We are bringing you the latest information as it becomes available to us. We just got this about 3 minutes ago. We're about 6 minutes away from 5 o'clock. We are slightly concerned about the weather. We are experiencing wind gusts from 13 to 40 kilometers per hour southeast, so it's blowing the blaze towards Peachland. Evacuees can temporarily report to Peachland Community Center at 4450 6th Street in Peachland. A muster center has also been opened at Royal LePage Place at 2760 Cameron Avenue, West Kelowna. For evacuees unable to access the Peachland Community Center, RCMP are assisting with the evacuation. BC Wildfire, Peachland Fire and Rescue are assisted by West Kelowna Fire Rescue and Kelowna Fire Department. The BC Wildfire Service says the blaze is burning at rank 3 to rank 4, which means a moderately vigorous surface fire with a moderate to fast rate of spread. They are hitting it with everything they have from the sky. The wind is starting to pick up, as they said it would, around 5 o'clock. Hopefully they can get a handle on this before it gets any worse. Again, this wildfire started at a very small size, 0.05 hectares, and quickly grew to 5 hectares. The latest report we had is 12. There are evacuation orders in place now. Please, anyone who is in that area, take your safety very seriously. Even if it's just for the smoke at this point, it's got to be incredibly smoky on that side of the lake right now. Fortunately, the wind is blowing that way. It's blowing the smoke south towards Summerland, Peachland, Summerland, and then on down to Penticton. You can see the skimmers are now coming right through the smoke right at us. I'll zoom in again so you can get a better sense of how they're attacking this fire, trying to stop it, trying to establish a line to prevent it from spreading into Peachland. I'm just going to tilt left so you can see more of the action. RCMP are asking boaters and recreators who may be on the water to make way for the skimmers. There are evacuation orders that have been issued now. Here we are 3 hours after this fire started at 0.05 hectares. Now we're up to 12 and evacuation orders have been issued. Again, I'll run through the evacuation information very quickly for you. About 400 properties have been tactically evacuated due to the Drought Hill wildfire. Emergency officials say properties east of Trepanier Bench Road, south of Highway 97C, and north of Highway 97 are now on evacuation order. That means you don't have a choice. If you live in those areas, you need to leave. Residents are asked to prepare to be away from their properties for an extended period of time, make arrangements for pets, and pack essential items such as medicines and important documents. Evacuees can temporarily report to Peachland Community Center at 4450 6th Street, Peachland, and a muster center has been opened at Royal LePage Place at 2760 Cameron Avenue in West Kelowna for evacuees who are unable to access the Peachland Community Center. RCMP are assisting with the evacuation. BC Wildfire, Peachland Fire and Rescue are assisted by West Kelowna Fire Rescue and Kelowna Fire Department. The BC Wildfire Service says the blaze is burning at rank 3 to rank 4, meaning a moderately vigorous surface fire with a moderate to fast rate of spread. Again, you're looking at a live shot as they battle this blaze. I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the shores of Okanagan Lake. The wind here is beginning to pick up. You can see some of the boaters in the shot there. The worst of the fire is on the left part of your screen. That's where the air tankers and the skimmers appear to be focusing the majority of their efforts. You can see the skimmers coming right through the smoke. There's a personal watercraft making its way through the shot. Trying to enjoy a beautiful Okanagan day. 36.4 degrees Celsius out here today. We've had heat warnings. It only took moments for what was a mechanical fire to turn into a raging wildfire that went from 0.05 hectares to now up to 12, and 400 properties have been tactically evacuated. You can see the smoke is blowing towards Peachland, obviously causing problems for anybody who has respiratory issues. We brought in skimmers from Abbotsford, water bombers from Penticton, all hands on deck. West Kelowna Fire is there, Kelowna Fire is there, Peachland Fire is there. I'm sure the firefighters from the south are there as well. It's extremely difficult to access this blaze. You can see how steep the terrain is. Really do need air support on a fire of this nature. If you're just joining us, perhaps you just got home from work and you're tuning into Castanet to find out what happened today, you can see that we've had a wildfire breakout. You're looking at a live shot of the Drought Hill wildfire that started around 2 o'clock this afternoon just off of Highway 97 near Drought Hill. The wind is blowing southeast, which is pushing the smoke and the fire towards Peachland. If you scroll through the fire story that we have on Castanet right now, you'll see images of flames dangerously close to homes. There are other images in there that show the vehicle with its tires on fire. We believe that that is the vehicle where the fire spread very quickly from those burning tires to the ditch and then on up the hill, and resulted in this fire that you're looking at right now, which we believe is the latest we have from BC Wildfire Services, 12 hectares. We've got skimmers from Abbotsford hitting this, water bombers and helicopters. You got ground support crews from all across really the Okanagan. Nobody was caught by this fire. Everyone has hit it hard. RCMP were on the scene very quickly directing traffic. They are right now directing traffic. They are doing tactical evacuations, which means they're going door to door. If an RCMP officer knocks on your door, answer it. You should pack a bag. Anyone in that area should pack a bag. Really, anyone in the Okanagan. If you remember 2 years ago, it's a good idea to have a go bag. Keep the things you care about close. Grab them and go. It's just stuff. Anybody who's looking for a place to stop because they can't access their home, perhaps Peachland or Summerland or Penticton, you can go to Royal LePage Place in West Kelowna. If you're on the other side of the fire and you're trying to get north but you can't because of the blaze or the road closure, then you can go to the Peachland Community Center right now and you'll get the latest information, probably some water and some human companionship so you can talk to people and get the latest. Obviously that's what Castanet is here for. We're trying to bring you the latest information. I've been live here for about an hour. I could use a drink and a swim. Here you can see one of the planes making its way through the smoke. They seem to be focusing their efforts on the Peachland side of the fire. They don't want this blaze to spread. Here comes what looks to be a water bomber or a helicopter. Very difficult to see from this distance. I'll zoom out and pan left a little so that you can see how close it is to the city. The fire on screen right looks like it's dying down, but there's still plenty of smoke screen left. You can see the water bombers in the sky. Skimmers are lower, choppers are lower. Strategically dropping their water to make the most of what they have as everyone in the Okanagan pulls together to knock this blaze out. Again, there have been 400 tactical evacuations. Those are orders. That means police and other emergency officials will be going door to door. If they're knocking at your door, you need to go. If you don't have anywhere to go, you can go to the Peachland Community Center for now. If you can't get to your home, you can go to Royal LePage Place in West Kelowna. Again, this fire started very small and quickly grew. The high today was 36.4 degrees Celsius. It is extremely hot. We've had heat warnings for the last several days. And the ground is tinder dry, obviously. I'll pull back so you can get another look at my vantage point from the east side of Okanagan Lake. I am just below Okanagan Mountain Park. And again, I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the shores of Okanagan Lake. And you're looking at a live shot of what they're now calling the Drought Hill Wildfire. It started around 2 o'clock this afternoon. There have been tactical evacuations. 400 homes are now on tactical evacuation alert. What that means is that RCMP and other designated officials are going door to door, knocking on people's doors, letting them know that they have to pack and leave. If you need a place to go, you can go to the Peachland Community Center. If you're stuck on this side of the fire, you can go to the Royal LePage Place in West Kelowna. That's your spot. If you're trying to get to Point South, you can stop there and gather yourself until we find out whether or not we can get this fire under control tonight. So far, the wind is not gusting to the 40 or 50 kilometers per hour. The sky seems to have cleared. It doesn't look like we're getting any help from Mother Nature at this point. Certainly when it comes to rain, it's nice that the winds aren't picking up and that the aircraft crews have the time and the place to do their work. RCMP have advised any boaters or water recreators to make sure that you are giving the BC wildfire crews, the aerial crews, the work they need. The skimmers need to pick up the water. The choppers need to pick up the water. The tankers are filling up. Some of them are filling up in Skaha and then coming back. It is all hands on deck for this fire. You can see just how smoky it is as the wind continues to push that smoke towards Peachland and then on down to Summerland and Point South. So that is Peachland. On the left of your screen, in the middle, is the Drought Hill Wildfire, which started on screen right, just off of Highway 97. We believe it happened or was started because of a mechanical incident. If you scroll through the story on Castanet, you will find the photo of the truck with its tires on fire. We believe that is what sparked the blaze. It quickly ran up the hill, went from 0.05 hectares to 5 hectares to now 12 hectares. BC Wildfire is hitting this with everything they have. They've called in skimmers from Abbotsford. We've got tankers from Penticton. All of the fire departments in the region have contributed some form of assistance. You can see the glint of metal off some of the planes and choppers coming through the smoke as they try to douse this blaze. The latest information we have, as of 5:09, the mayor of Peachland is urging evacuees who are in the community currently to make their way to the Peachland Community Center at 4450 6th Street. Mayor Patrick Van Minsel says traffic is moving southbound on Beach Avenue, but northbound is blocked. Van Minsel himself lives on Trepanier Bench and said when the fire broke out, he packed up some supplies and evacuated. He's now stationed at the Emergency Operations Center, and he implores anyone else in the same situation to meet him there. Well, some evacuation alerts in the Coldham Road area were previously included on the map published by Central Okanagan Emergency Operations. Those have now been removed. Roughly 400 homes remain under evacuation order. That was a tactical evacuation order, which means RCMP and other emergency officials are going door to door to let people know that they have to leave. Again, RCMP are assisting with that evacuation. BC Wildfire, Peachland Fire and Rescue have been assisted by West Kelowna Fire and Rescue and the Kelowna Fire Department. BC Wildfire Services says the blaze is burning at rank 3 to rank 4, which means moderate to vigorous surface fire and a moderate to fast rate of spread, which you can see going from 0.05 hectares to now 12 hectares in size. The good news is that the fire on the right of your screen appears to be burning itself out. We just need to stop it from spreading towards Peachland. You can get the latest evacuation information on Castanet right now, including a map that outlines the area and the regions that are impacted by this blaze. We're all just hoping and praying that BC Wildfire Service can snuff this blaze before it damages any structures or impacts any other lives in any way. The photo that I'm looking at on Castanet right now clearly shows rank 3 or 4 fire behavior right behind a group of houses on Trepanier Bench Road. Obviously those people should not be in their homes. Make your way to the Peachland Community Center. You will get more information there, and you can always open up the Castanet app for the latest information. Again, I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the shores of Okanagan Lake. I'm just below Okanagan Mountain Park, and we have been live here for the last hour. We've been covering this story since the fire broke out at approximately 2 o'clock, just off of Highway 97 near Drought Hill in Peachland. The fire was very small, but it took almost no time to rip up the hill, and it now stands at 12 hectares and is being called the Drought Hill Wildfire. Just adjusted that shot so we can get a better sense. You can see how low that smoke on the left of the screen is, impacting some of those houses in Peachland. Anybody with respiratory issues or breathing issues should try to get to an area, perhaps the Peachland Community Center or Point South, where the air is a little cleaner. If you're just joining us, perhaps you just got home from work and you just opened up Castanet and you're wondering what's going on. You are looking at a live shot of the Drought Hill wildfire. I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the shores of Okanagan Lake. I'm just below Okanagan Mountain Park right now. We got a little bit of break from some of the clouds. It has been extremely hot over the last couple of days. Today's high was approximately 36.4 degrees Celsius. We believe that this fire was sparked by a mechanical or a tire fire, a vehicle with its tires on fire. You can see that photo on Castanet, and it didn't take long for that fire to spread very quickly into the ditch and then on up the hill. Started at 0.05 hectares and has now grown to 12 hectares. We do want to let you know that anyone in Peachland, the mayor of Peachland, is urging evacuees who are in the community currently to make their way to the Peachland Community Center at 4450 6th Street. Mayor Patrick Van Minsel said traffic is moving southbound on Beach Avenue, but northbound is blocked at this point. Van Minsel himself lives on Trepanier, lives where the fire broke out. He quickly packed up some of his supplies, and he's now stationed at the Emergency Operations Center. So anyone else who finds himself in a similar situation, you can join Mr. Van Minsel down there at the Peachland Community Center. While some evacuation alerts in the Coldham Road area, which were previously included on the map, which was published by the Central Okanagan Emergency Operations Center, those have now been moved. But roughly 400 homes remain under evacuation order. Now, I've been doing this live for about an hour now, but we at Castanet are committed to bringing you the latest information. If that means going live, then we will. This is as close to the fire as we can possibly get. We were going to go on Trepanier Road, but that was quickly shut down. So here we are at the shore of Okanagan Lake by Okanagan Mountain Park. I am live. I am Rob Gibson. We were reporting live for Castanet, and we'll continue to bring you the latest information as it becomes available to us. You can see the light flashing off some of the planes and the helicopters as they work to battle this blaze. To make sure I leave a little bit of the lake in there so you can get some perspective, but a lot of the aerial activity appears to be higher. They have spotter planes that are circling, looking for hot spots. You can see right in the middle there, a couple of the skimmers are flying through. They're hitting this with everything that they have right now. Those skimmers came in from Abbotsford, and we're here very quickly. We've got water bombers coming up from Penticton. We've got all hands on deck from the fire departments from across the Okanagan. Anybody who is finding themselves out of their home because either they can't get to Point South because of the highway closure can go to the Royal LePage Place at West Kelowna, in West Kelowna. And if you're on the south side of the closure or you live in Peachland, you've been evacuated, you can go to the Peachland Community Center at this point. That is a good thing. They have not advised anyone that they need to, anyone else that they need to leave. Right now there are 400 tactical evacuation orders in place, but this is a very fast-moving situation. We've gone from 0.05 hectares to 12 hectares, and the latest information we have from BC Wildfire Service indicates that this fire is burning at a rank 3 or 4, which means it's moderate to quick moving on the ground. Some of the photos and the videos that you all have sent us, thank you so much to our viewers and our loyal audience for sharing the information that you have with us. We're as good as we are because you are as good as you are. Thank you, and don't stop being you.
That's good. I got one more different one.
So I think that still says 7 minutes. So get yourself together.
There's evacuations now.
Yeah, I know that. It's so good.
Yeah, got 19
Right? Okay, I'm going to turn the...
Evacuees who are in the community to make their way to the Peachland Community Center. 400 homes remain under order.
Okay. I'm going to turn the mic back on. So in case you're just joining us, you are looking at a live shot of the Drought Hill wildfire. I'm Rob Gibson, reporting live for Castanet on the shores of Okanagan Lake. I'm on the east side of the lake. Now I'm joined by Madison Earhart. You and I, this is not our first rodeo when it comes to fires.
Yeah, no, unfortunately we've seen this all too often here in the Okanagan in the summertime.
Okay, so I'm gonna zoom out here so people can get a better look at what we're looking at, and you can see the location, and then we will step in front of the camera and give you a bit of an update. In case you just joined us, this fire started around 2 o'clock just off of Highway 97 near Drought Hill. It started at 0.05 hectares and it has now grown to 12 hectares in size. We've got about 400 properties have been tactically evacuated. The mayor of Peachland has been evacuated. He's at the Peachland Community Center. They've set up a spot for anyone who's trapped by the closure, the highway closure. You can go to the Royal Page Center in West Kelowna. Anybody who is trapped on the south side can go to the Peachland Community Center. We can tell you that wildfire services are hitting this with everything that they have. Madison, I'm dripping. Like I'm dripping. You don't want to touch me.
On my
Here,
drive in, it said 36 degrees.
Yeah, here we are in front of the camera. You can see how wet I am. I got some sweat in my... Thanks for bringing me some more power.
I use some water as well.
Nice. I could use a drink. Here, you take this.
Yes.
I'll handle these.
So what we do know right now is there is about 400 properties on evacuation order. That is the latest from the Central Okanagan Emergency Response Crew, and they tell us that tactical evacuations have been put in place. The latest update on the wildfire is it is 12 hectares in size. Highway 97 remains closed at Drought Hill. That is the latest. Crews continue to get a handle on this blaze. We know there are a number of helicopters bucketing the fire. I'm just gonna go behind so that you can get a little bit of a better view here. Currently, as we speak, Rob is actually dipping in the lake because it is extremely hot right now. The mayor of Peachland is urging evacuees who are in the community to make their way to the Peachland Community Center. That is at 44506 Street in Peachland. Right now we know that traffic is moving southbound on Beach Avenue, but northbound is blocked. Of course we know that Highway 97, Highway 97C and north of Highway 97 are moving slowly, as we know that there are a ton of traffic backed up in the area, several road closures We know Highway 97 remains closed at Drought Hill. The Okanagan Connector is closed. That is between Highway 97 Junction and Aspen Grove. When we last spoke with BC Wildfire, we understood that the fire is 12 hectares in size. That is the latest. The blaze is currently burning at a rank 3, rank 4 fire, meaning moderately vigorous. Crews continue to get a handle on this blaze. Hey Rob, would you say it's come down in size a little bit since you've been here over the last couple hours?
What does it say?
It's 12 hectares in size. How does it look to you?
Well, to me, the screen right has gotten a lot less smoky, and they're working hard on screen left, which is the side closest to Peachland. So to me, it looks like what you're seeing now appears to be steam. So they're hitting it hard. I think the skimmers have been low. You can't see them from this side because they're working it from the other side of the lake. Obviously, the sun is in the wrong spot for us when we're in front of the camera. The sun's behind us, so you can't really get a good sense of it. But to me, it looks like they're doing everything they can to prevent this fire from creeping up to Peachland.
We do know that from Castanet viewers, the fire was extremely close to several homes in the area. Therefore, there was the tactical evacuation by emergency responders, fire departments, and RCMP. We don't know at this time if any homes have gone up in flames. We know how the fire started, and that's due to a motor vehicle. Yeah,
that truck. I mean, I had a phone call within minutes of that fire, and he shared the photos with me. And about 20 minutes later, this was a full-on wildfire. So emergency services were there right away. Peachland Fire Department was on it. The RCMP were there directing traffic, and BC Wildfire Service responded as quickly as they could, and this thing still took off. As you mentioned, it's 36.4 degrees Celsius out here, plus we had a little bit of a wind. So it's so dry, and we've had the heat warnings that it doesn't take much for a blaze like this to take off. You can see if you scroll through our story where the image of that truck with the tires on fire. It's just incredible how quickly it can happen. To me, it looks like it's much smokier now. That tells me they're hitting it with more water. That tells me that they're working hard to get this under control as quickly as they possibly can.
Yeah, and again, we do know that there are about 400 homes on evacuation order, but of course, those in the area are urged to make sure that they're packing essential items and medicine and important documents if they are told to leave at a moment's notice, because we do know that the fire can move quite quickly, as we've seen today. It started off at, I think Rob said 0.5 hectares. It grew to 5.
Half a picnic table.
And now the current estimate is 12 hectares in size. It does look to appear to be lessening in terms of the smoke. Crews are obviously still on the scene with helicopters bucketing this fire. We will continue to have the latest information for you. Again, those that are on evacuation order are urged to go to the Peachland Community Center at 44506th Street in Peachland. A muster center has also been opened at Royal LePage Place. That's 2760 Cameron Avenue in West Kelowna for those evacuees unable to access the Peachland Community Center. And for those that are stuck on the highway right now, many have emailed in asking Castanet what the detour is right now. You're just being told to obviously wait, as there's nowhere you can currently go on the highway. It's unknown at this time when the roads will reopen, but of course the number one priority right now is making It looks like it's dying down.
I think they're hitting it pretty good. Oh my God, it's
It must be dying. Go for an oxygen.
I did. It helps a lot. I had to wear my bathing suit. So. These guys are hilarious. This guy, did you see that?
I saw the guy just like with his dog here went for a swim.
Yeah, and he's walking in front of me.
Oh my God. Yeah, we heard you. Oh, you want to be famous?
I was busting his balls, yeah.
So funny. I brought you water.
Where is it?
Those are back ones. Just a bit. We just cut the sound there as we tried to juice the battery. We've plugged in here, so we're able to continue to go live. The latest coverage here on Castanet as the fire here started just after roughly 2 o'clock in Peachland. I'll zoom out here so you can get a little bit more of a wide view of this fire. So for those just joining us, this fire sparked just before 2 o'clock here, and it broke out off of Highway 97 near Drought Hill. An eyewitness tells Castanet the fire appeared to have started by a vehicle towing a bobcat on a trailer. That was confirmed as we received several photos from Castanet viewers. RCMP say that incident took place at about 2 p.m. Since then, the fire has grown rapidly in size over the mountaintop there. It has been close to homes. At this time, 400 homes remain on evacuation order. The latest update from BCWS was that the wildfire was an estimated 12 hectares in size. Just around 3 o'clock, the Okanagan connector was closed, along with Highway 97, and that is a result of the firefight by BC Wildfire, Peachland fire crews, West Kelowna, and Kelowna fire crews. They continue to battle this fire. Helicopters and air tankers are on the scene. A reminder to those in the water, as I can see several boats still on Okanagan Lake. The RCMP is asking boaters to stay off the water in the area.